So today we'll be talking about the circulatory system and around about your heart stuff. So firstly is the structure of the heart. So in your heart there are ventricles and atriums. The atriums are at the top and the ventricles are at the bottom, and the ventricles are also bigger because they have thicker muscle. So basically your right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body, and your left atrium receives oxygenated blood from your lungs. So it's right deoxygenated body and then left oxygenated lungs. And then it's basically the opposite. So your right atrium pumps blood to your lungs and your left atrium pumps blood to your body. So it's right pump lungs and left pump body. So basically your right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from body and pumps blood to lungs, and your left atrium receives oxygenated blood from your lungs and pumps blood to your body. Now we have the valve and the septum. So your valve basically prevents backflow of blood, and it also separates parts of your heart, and it also makes sure that it's high pressure pump, and it also ensures that there is only one directional blood flow. And also I'll just, because it's a lot, I know, so we'll just, there, that's all you need to know. So your valve prevents backflow of blood and also makes sure that it's high pressure pump, and there's only one directional blood flow. So there's only one directional blood flow, make sure it's high pressure pumping, and prevent backflow of blood. So basically your valve prevents backflow of blood, makes sure high pressure pump, and then one directional blood flow. And then your septum basically separates your right side and your left side of your heart. So it's actually the septum that is used in the binary fission, if you remember that. If you do, then give yourself a pat on the back. So yeah, your valve prevent backflow of blood and make sure that it's only one directional blood flow, and maintain a high pressure pump. And your septum basically just separates your left and right side of your heart. So now we'll go on to the pulmonary and the systemic circulation. So pulmonary circulation is the blood flow from heart to lungs. So pulmonary circulation goes from heart, then to lungs, and then back to heart. And it's for a gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide and it does that through the right ventricle to the lungs and to the left atrium. So it's basically heart, lungs, heart. So basically pulmonary circulation is circulating So pulmonary circulation is the flow of blood from heart to lungs to heart for gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide, and it goes through the right ventricle into the left atrium and between the lungs. So basically, your pulmonary circulation goes from So your pulmonary circulation, blood basically goes from heart to lungs to heart, and it's for gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide, and then it also goes through the right ventricle to lungs to left atrium. And then now that's the pulmonary circulation. And then the systemic circulation is the flow of blood from body to heart. So instead of lungs, it's to body, and it is to supply tissues and remove carbon dioxide. And then it goes through the left ventricle, then body tissues, and right atrium. So system circulation is the flow from heart to body to heart to supply tissues and remove carbon dioxide. And it goes from, in primary one, from right ventricle, then to lungs, then to left atrium. So in here, it's from left ventricle to body tissues, and then to right atrium. And it's to supply for body tissues and to remove carbon dioxide. So basically, in summary, your pulmonary circulation, blood flows from the heart to lungs to heart, and it does gas exchange between carbon dioxide and oxygen. And it does that through right ventricle to lungs to then left atrium. And then for your systemic circulation, it goes from heart to body cells to heart. And it is to supply body tissue and remove carbon dioxide. And then it also goes from left ventricle to body cells to right atrium. So yeah, that's what are those two circulations are. So now we have blood pressure. So blood pressure is the force of blood pushing against the walls of your artery as the heart contracts and relaxes. So basically the blood pushes against your body. Basically it's when your blood is forcefully pushing it against the walls of your arteries as the heart contracts and relaxes. So yeah, the blood pressure means when blood forcefully pushes against the walls of artery, and this occurs when your heart contracts and relaxes. And then systolic blood pressure is when ventricles contract and the right ventricle goes to lung, and then your left ventricle goes to body. Wait, one sec. Yeah.